I tend to forget that sometimes. Okay, so yeah, this session is not being recorded. So one of the things that's going to happen is that I will have the entire class will be recorded, and so I will be able to, in usually a day or so, I will post it on Canvas as well. So in addition to having the slides, they're not the actual PowerPoint, but it's a PDF file for the actual lecture. Those are already posted up there. But because we are live, I try to also keep it sort of current. So I will be making modifications to the slides that you see posted on Canvas already. Those slides that I have posted already, the lecture notes, I call them, that are posted already will help you sort of preview what is coming up in the class and will help you, of course, to study for exams and things like that. But again, I'm trying to make this class current. A lot of things that are happening in the context of cultural geography are things that are happening today. We're going to talk about issues in the context of cultural geography, for instance, about political geography that are dealing with things that are happening as we speak. And so it's important to keep the class relevant. So you'll see periodically updates on what I already have posted on the lectures. Also, some of you might have noticed that in the middle of the screen, they say transcription. There's a, you can actually see, it's a closed caption of what I'm saying in the class. It's actually, again, you can read those. So if that's the best way for you to get the information that I'm discussing here. And again, in the recording, you'll be able to see that as well. So again, as I go over the materials on Canvas, you'll see a lot of this information as well. You see the videos that will also have closed caption available for those of you who need it. Anyway, so let me, let me just officially welcome you to the class. I'm pretty excited about this. This version of cultural geography. I know that in this pandemic that we're all living, things are not, class is not being taught the usual way. And many of you out of Federal High School, I think you just started yesterday, right? So this is the first time that we're officially starting on distance education, both at the high school level and of course at the college level here at City. We started out in March when this whole thing sort of went crazy. We started out doing distance education. And you know, hopefully things will get better. Hopefully, we hope that in some future, hopefully not too far, things will begin to normalize and we'll be able to get back to some sort of a normal fashion that we should this class. Now, having said that, I do teach this class online already. You know, as an option, City College offers courses that are fully online. So a lot of the material that I have are brought for some of those classes that, like I said, I already teach online. So again, you'll see in this class, it's technically considered like a hybrid where we'll get to spend some time highlighting aspects of the class and so on. And most of the work, or in fact, all the work, all the assignments and everything will be done directly on Canvas. So you will be submitting all of your assignments directly on Canvas. So, and that's what I'm gonna spend a few minutes explaining today as to how you go about submitting some of the assignments and give you some samples of some of the assignments that we have coming up in the class. Now, and you can again show me with a sign or something about, have you looked at the syllabus already? Have you seen it? Let me ask you it in a different way. Do you know that that I posted the syllabus? Do you know where to find it on Canvas, right? It looks like to most of you have seen it. All right. So let me, I'm gonna switch, you know, unless there's any other specific questions, before we get started. Now again, I'm trying to connect your faces with the names and so on. This is also how I am going to be taking attendance of some sort. I have the list of the students that are in the class. And so somewhere along the line, I am going to be sort of checking off people to make sure that you can be accounted for attending the class and you know, in the 50 minutes that we're going to be meeting 3 days a week. Remember that we are going to be meeting Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 7:50. Unless, again, in the future, things change. But again, I'm expecting that we'll probably be conducting the class in this fashion through the entire semester. All right. So now, so like I say, in a typical face-to-face class, we'll do introductions and but you have noticed, and I'm going to start up with that as a way to show you a few things. One, how to submit comments, how to write in particularly discussions. Some of the assignments that we have in class are discussions, particularly discussing what I call cultural geography news. Again, I want to make this class relevant. I don't want you to just learn a bunch of theories, a bunch of concepts, and then not apply them. Cultural geography is out, and we call that a cultural landscape. The geographers call it a cultural landscape. It's all out there, right? It's happening. And so one of the easiest ways to make this class relevant is by you looking at news articles that I'll be posting and for you to comment on it to sort of find the geography of it. Find, you know, how is that connected to this particular class. So again, you are going to be looking at issues, things that you see on TV, that you see on, you read on the newspapers, and I'll be posting some of those articles for you to comment. So now, as far as the icebreaker, we also doing it online. So again, I'm going to switch to the screen on the to show you first of all how the icebreaker looks like. I noticed that a lot of you have already commented, already sort of done that part. Now that's not a graded activity, but again, it's a very good way to get a feel to how discussions work in this class, and for you to again, it serves a double purpose of getting to me to get to know you guys as well as each other to get to know each other. Again, this is going to be a whole semester we're going to be conducting this class, so it'll be important for us to get to know each other that way. So I'm going to switch to the screen again. You can comment, you can ask questions up on the chat. I'm going to switch to the screen of how it actually Canvas actually looks like to you. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys, and probably going to make sure that you actually see it. So sometimes I'm going to make sure that that's the case. Let's use another person. So now, does everybody see the screen right now? Are you looking at the screen? Again, you can tell me yes or no. Do you see a screen for what the home page of? Okay, so you do see it. What the home page for the class looks like on Canvas, all right? So this is what I'm going to spend probably most of the class today, just highlighting. Like I say, rather than just reading the syllabus to you, I'm going to explain to you that one of these, what I call an extra credited activity that will engage you with the syllabus. Rather than listening to me drawn on it or you know, talk about it, I want you to read the syllabus and answer some of these questions on the syllabus quiz. So let me take you, so this is what you usually see when you come in. You usually will see the most recent announcements will be listed up there. Usually the top 3 announcements. The most recent stuff that I sent to you will be up there. So so let me take you to the icebreaker announcement. On that announcement, I basically explained to you that we are going to have an activity called an icebreaker. Now, originally I had set it up for you to complete it by Sunday, but hopefully give you enough time to have it done by Monday, August 24th. Most of these assignments, most of the activities will have a due date, usually around 11:59, right before midnight of a particular day. All right, and this is no exception. So now these announcements are gonna, I try to keep them very regularly, letting you know what is happening. Most of the time you have at least one announcement per week. I usually send those on Sundays. Sometime on Sunday morning, you'll see an announcement telling you this is what's happening this week, explaining the assignments that are coming up due, and so on. If there are any changes, if there are any whatever, you know, just like I saw when I initially thought that the class was supposed to start on Monday, and then I panicked when I saw there's only like 4 people in it. Well, you know, I didn't realize that the class didn't start until, you know, like I say, at City College, we started on Monday, but I didn't realize it was a different date for starting out this class. All right. So in that case, on situations like that, you saw an announcement that I say, never mind, we're not starting on Monday. We actually started on Thursday. So this is an example of what these announcements look like. I can go back to those announcements again, or go back to the home page. You can actually see them. Now, on the left of in Canvas, you'll see what is called the menu. The menu there will take you to basically the different things that we have going on in the class. So like say, you can also get to the announcements by hitting the announcement part of the menu. Or like I said, like I showed you earlier, you can see them right on the home page. But again, this is a very typical announcement that we'll send in on a weekly basis. This happened to be the welcome announcement. But as we move along, let's say by next Sunday, I will be sending you what I would call week 1 announcement or something like that, that will explain to you what is happening, what is going to be happening on that week. All right. And a lot of things are linked. You see my Zoom link, like, which obviously most of you were able to find it okay, since we have now the correct password as well. And so you see information like that, right? Now, so let me walk you to the way the class is organized. I organize class by modules, and then the modules, and then all different professors do different ways that they organize their classes. But the way I organize them is basically each module is a particular week, right? I still haven't changed the dates on that, right? So I want to make sure that I change the date since we started out actually later than the 17th. But I think I already updated the syllabus to make sure that the dates are correct. So on week 1, as you can see right here, this is what's happening for week 1. And I'm going to sort of explain what each of the items are. Now, does anybody have access to the textbook yet? I know that many of you at O'Farrell are getting an electronic version, a digital version of the text. Has that been issued to you guys yet? O'Farrell students, you can sort of thumbs up or no. The librarian, the counselor, Miss Betsy, forget her last, Garcia, I think is last name. Anyway, Perez, she indicated that the librarian was going to be issuing you a code to get access to the digital version of the textbook. So that has not happened yet, correct? Students from O'Farrell, can you explain that to me, or no? Has not happened? Not yet, okay. So that should be happening very soon. And if we have some issues with that, I'll make sure that I touch base with them to make sure they make them available to you. Ideally, again, you want to kind of start going through that. Now, so in addition to the module being basically organized by weeks of the semester, They also sort of follow the organization that the textbook follows. The textbook has what they call key issues. For each of the chapters, for each of the topics, each chapter is a particular topic in cultural geography. They have key issues. And so I have organized uh, uh, the modules as well in terms of the content of the class, in terms of the lecture content, the content of the actual course, along the organization that the textbook has. So you'll see these key issues around like that. The lectures are actually, when you look, if you look at, and I'm going to highlight some of those in a minute here, they also set up like that. All right. So let me show you a couple of things now. There are also videos. You'll see the key issues. They also have videos. So I have the lecture that I have prepared from the PowerPoint that I've done. Those are already posted up there. And then again, they may be updated briefly to make it relevant. But these key issue videos are were done by somebody, a professor that teaches. I think it's actually a high school teacher that teaches at the high school an AP course in cultural geography. And so they're very helpful to be able to see and visually, and many of you learn better that way, to visually see what is happening with each of these key issues. Now it's a little outdated. This is, I think they're using the 11th edition. We're now on the 13th edition of the textbook, but the information really hasn't changed that much. And it's very helpful, very well organized. So this is an additional source for you to study the things that we studied in this class. There's also, let me click on that. There's also study guide. All right. It usually tells you all the issues. Now, don't panic. Chapter 1 has lots and lots of key terms. All right. Again, I try to teach this class conceptually. I want you to understand a lot of these very specific concepts related to cultural geography. So chapter 1, because it's an introduction to geography in general, it is pretty extensive, pretty big. In fact, in one of the assignments that we have on key concepts, this is actually worth more points because it's a little longer, a little bigger than all the other ones. So now the pages again are a little updated, and there's a new version now. Usually by 1 or 2 pages, and I haven't changed those. But and so what I do is I give you a summary. Again, when I teach these classes fully online, students can actually see all this stuff. When I go over the lectures, for instance, I'll be saying all this stuff. But you can actually see a lot of this information. You see, you can read about all this information that I'm providing to you on the lecture. So this is an extremely helpful guide for you to have. This is really helpful when you prepare for exam and stuff like that. And again, it all ties into all these key issues that I'm talking about. So for instance, for chapter 1, you'll see how these issues are divided. So it's a summary, but it's a study guide for you to follow what is happening for that particular chapter. So there's one for each chapter. Now this is also helpful when you are going to be completing your assignments on the key concept. I'll explain that in a second here. All these bolded letters that you see right here, these are basically those terms. All those key concepts that I show up on top over here, that's what those are. That's where they come from. Right? So they're sort of distributed to the reading. So again, the idea for these key concepts is that I want you to read actively. This is a concept that we use a lot. I used to do it in high school, and when I taught high school, and I also use it in college, because if I just tell you read page such and such, what are the chances that you're just gonna go and read? But in addition to guiding your reading, making sure that that you are looking for specific information, it'll keep you active. it'll make it more exciting, hopefully, but it'll keep you engaged with the subject matter rather than just boringly reading all these terms and all this information. And again, it helps you also comprehend the material that at the times of the exam, it'll pop up, it'll come up. All right. So again, this is provided for you as well. And so, for instance, if I know that we still haven't gotten the textbook, so this will give you a good head start, particularly with the key concept assignment that I'm about to discuss in a few minutes here. Now, notice that in Canvas, and at least I try to at least make it redundant. And I know in many cases that's like, well, why do we have to see it in a different way? Well, people look at this material in different ways, right? So some of you may just go to the modules to find the information, but you can actually go sort of linearly, and you can go to the next slide, for instance, the next section on the module, and you can hit on the corner down here, and you can hit next. So we'll take you to the next item on that particular module. And this happens to be the lecture. Now, be mindful with be patient, I should say, with these lectures. They're heavily, there's lots of images in them. And depending on the speed of your internet and your computer, or your tablet, or whatever you're using for these, it may be a lot slower for some people than others, right? Don't say, well, it's not working, it's not happening. It may be that it's just taking some time for it to load, right? Now you can, so you can look at it like that, and you can actually download it if you want. You can hit up here, and you can download it and have it in your computer, store in your computer, so you don't have to sort of go into the internet every time. So you can download this, save it somewhere where you have your notes for the class, and you can use it like that. Again, this is a PDF from the PowerPoints that I had that I'm going to be sort of briefly discussing on each of the classes that we have, and so it's all there. All right. Again, there's a new version of the textbook that I'm now using, and so I'm going to be updating some things to make it relevant. There's really the main difference on this new edition is that there's a chapter 4. The chapter 4 has now changed, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to go into the new edition, because chapter 4, instead of simply talking about folk and popular culture, now it also talks about social media, which is very relevant in the context of geography. So we're going to have a whole chapter. We're going to deal with, again, folk and popular culture, but in addition, we're also going to be talking about social media and the impact that it has globally, that it has in the context of culture, geography, particularly when it comes to different aspects of culture, right? And I think many of you will be very, I think we're very interested in this particular subject. It is relevant. Some of you are heavily immersed in social media, perhaps some more than others, and I think you'll find it very interesting. So, anyway, so this is again an example of what some of these lectures look like. Again, these come for PowerPoints, but everything is there. All right, and these are some of the ones I'm going to be going over as we progress during the semester. So I'm going to go back to the menu, right? And again, you'll see all these right there. By the way, before I go any further, notice that there's also in what I call the welcome module, the resource module. There's a bunch of information about, it's a welcome announcement type thing, right? Like you'll see on the homepage. But you also see resources for you. And again, most of these resources are geared towards, towards City College, of course, that's what this class is about. But you'll see, this menu that I was talking about in Canvas, it explains what each of these things does, right? What each of the features in the menu do, right? If you're not sure, okay, what does it mean by this? What does it mean by that, right? Now, there's also information about, and it's even a little more about technical info, but there's some phone numbers, some websites that you can go in case you are having issues with Canvas. By the way, you can, if you call out those numbers, there's actually a live person that can actually guide you. They can walk you through Canvas. I've used it. You know, I sometimes I don't know how to do something. I don't know how to resolve an issue, and they have it for students. They have it for faculty, and it's a live person to talk to you. And they say go to your website and they can walk you through it. I find it very, very helpful. And I'm amazed that it's live, you know, that there's an actual person. I think City College has a lot of college students that are actually answering some of the students for college students. But they're very savvy. They know Canvas very well. And so use it, that information. There's also Canvas guides. If you see those over here, they actually send you sort of a general, again, anything you need to know about Canvas is right there, right? And it's set up for students, for faculty, just about any question that you may have related to Canvas, you'll find, right? So this is the type of information that I call on this first page right here. A bunch of information on student services, tutorial services, of course. I updated them because many of those courses are now virtual. People cannot go into City College, for instance, and as the same for your federal students, you cannot go to the library. It's not available to you. It's closed. And so what they've done is they offer you a lot of virtual services. You can talk to a librarian online. You can send them an email. There's a 24/7 ask a librarian sort of a place, you know. There's tutoring going on online as well. There's a consortium, and I think it's in the Western United States, that brings basically tutors from different subjects from different colleges around the Western United States, where a live tutor can actually answer your questions. And there will be some in geography that if they have, you know, have a question about this, and they can actually help you. So click on some of those links. I just updated and making sure that they're still live. So there's lots of information out there for you. Books that you may want to look. In fact, the library has not had a whole section on online sources, virtual sources. I think they're very actively converting hardcover textbooks into PDF versions of stuff. And, you know, I think these times in some way is making sure, sort of creating an urgency to update a lot of this material, whereas perhaps it wasn't. If you are going to need any support in terms of any particular issues with accessibility that you may have to this course, you may want to contact the Disability Support Programs and Services called DSPS. There's information there. There's a website. There's an email. You can email a counselor there, explain your situation. There's testing available. You can call them there, and they will then contact me as well, and they will tell me this particular student needs this particular assistance. Now, having said that, like I said, I teach these classes online as well. So I've tried to be very careful to make sure that this course is accessible to all of you, depending on the way that you learn, that you, whatever way that is best for you to learn the material. I have made every effort to make sure that I can basically meet the needs of all of you, regardless of any kind of accessibility issues that you have, right? But again, if you need any more specialized support, make sure, and again, contact them. They will eventually send me the information that will tell me what it is that I need. And you know, someone like say, someone's already built into the class, but let's say you may need additional time when you take your test. I can do that. I can set up the time to be a little longer if that's what you need to take your exam. But again, someone is already built in, but any specialized services, you need to contact DSPS, and they'll be very happy to help you to provide whatever, and to tell me, in particular, to tell me what it is that I need to do for you to be able to successfully complete the class. The other resources there, and again, so this is the kind of stuff. There's a lot of information on technical online resources. Again, some of these guys are already seen. This is in particular very helpful. It tells you a lot of information that you need about technical requirements for your computer to access this information, Zoom information, literally you name it. Whatever it is that you need is listed for you here. This all comes directly from the community college district, San Diego Community College District, to help you in terms of what it is that you need. So let me go back to this. All right. So okay, so let me show you, and this is important because we are going to be submitting assignments online, right? So all the assignments that we have in class, you are going to be submitting online, right? So I'm going to use the syllabus quiz. You've probably seen that as well already. I'm going to use the syllabus quiz as an example to show you how you submit assignments. Now the syllabus quiz, I used to always make it not graded. I mean, it's just something you should do. But I think I'm going to give you that incentive. That's why I call it extra credit. Is a little beyond the points that you usually will learn in this class. The 1,000 points that you're gonna need to earn to pass the class. I'll explain that in a few minutes as well. But the syllabus quiz will allow you to dig into the syllabus, right? And find some it's sort of like a scavenger hunt, looking for information of what it is that you'll find on the syllabus, all right? Now here's the document. So when you click on that, you'll download the document. And in this class, and a few, not so much in this class because we're just starting, but some people are asking me, well, I don't have Word. Now you probably be able to download this document right within Canvas here. So again, you will click right here. You will click download syllabus quiz, and will download a Word document. Now let's say you don't have Word, and many of you don't, right? I know I wish that the community college district here will issue what they call Office 365. I don't think they're there yet. I know that college they do. They simply, if you're a college student, you'll get access to Office, and you'll be able to basically use all these. I think they're working on that. I see it. I actually just put it up on the list of stuff over here, but I don't think it's active yet because we're not. They haven't made a contract yet or whatever. So, but if you do not have Word, you can actually use Google Docs, for instance. Google Docs are free, and they can use conversely with Word. You can use exchangeably, right? So you can type up your answer. For instance, you'll see this document. This can be converted into Google Docs, and then you can actually type your answers here. So, but you need to download the document. So once you get the document, you can open it up. You're probably going to show up in one of my different screens. I'll bring it up to the correct screen. Yeah, okay. So you'll see the document. You now have downloaded the document, right? And in a setup to be, you want to hit enable editing, because here's where you want to write your answers. You're actually going to type out your answers. Set up for you to just type your answers. Now, you're going to need to sort of store this document somewhere that you can find it later, because I'm going to show you, in order for you to submit it, what it is that you need to do. So you're going to answer your questions, go to the syllabus and answer the questions. At some point, you're going to save it. You're going to know where it's at, right? So go back to our module here. And this page down here, now you can usually tell by this icon on the left that it's an actual assignment, right? And these icons mean different things. These are videos, these are actual attachments, you know, PDF documents or so that I'm attaching here. But in this particular case, this is the assignment. As opposed to this, that is actually the document, this is the actual assignment. So what you will do, you hit on that, right? It will take you to the submission page. This is where you are going to submit your assignment, all right? So, so you're gonna hit submit assignment. Once you're ready, you type up your answers for the syllabus quiz, right? Now you're ready to submit your assignment. You're gonna look for the file. And obviously it may not look like this for you because you know, this is my computer. So you can look for your file, right? So let's say, let me, I'm gonna actually look for the syllabus quiz. I have it here. Yeah, this is a different class. I don't know. But anyway, so you're gonna find the file that where you have your quiz, right? And let's say it's that one, right? So then you're gonna hit open, and now it's gonna show right there. Now your quiz that you have completed. I suggest that you add perhaps your first and last name, S. Cortez, right, for me, right? Just so I can identify it, but on the grade book, I will actually see it, so I know it comes from you. So, but it's just helpful. It makes it a little helpful, perhaps for you to be able to find out where the assignment is at. So now once you find your assignment, right, you're gonna hit, you know, it knows now that that's the assignment, that's your completed assignment. Now I'm not gonna submit it because of course I'm not a student, I'm not submitting it, but once you're ready, you find out your completed assignment, you're gonna hit submit assignment, right? On this button down here, and then you're done. You have now submitted your assignment. Now I can go into the gradebook and I can see what you submitted. And again, this is gonna be basically the way for every assignment that it asks you to submit a file. Right? This is the process. As simple as it looks like that, that's exactly what it's gonna be looking like. So I'm gonna cancel, again, I'm not sending anything here, but you will once you complete this. Some of the first actual material that we have coming up is going to be the key concept. I already set up a template for you. Now, the first, I know someone will be asking about why. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I think Steve, you asked a good question. You can actually save the document as well as a PDF, right? You can submit. In fact, I left it open. I didn't restrict the items, the files that you can submit. And by the way, let me, since you asked about that, Steve, I think it's a really good point. In fact, PDF is probably the ideal way to submit some of these assignments, right? And the reason why is because with PDF, you don't miss, PDF doesn't, it submits it as you intended to be submitted. It doesn't change the format. Think of it as like when you're flying on a plane, if you put in your luggage, they always warn you, be careful because the luggage may have shifted as the plane moves around. Well, that's kind of what happens when a Word file is transferred, right? Things may shift. You thought you put a picture somewhere, it may no longer be there. It may have gone somewhere else, right? Whereas on a PDF document, the integrity, the format that you intended to create your document is maintained. So yeah, Steve, it's a really good point. I suggest that perhaps the ideal way for you to submit this will be in PDF, and you can do that. Now you don't have to do anything very fancy with it. What you want to do, you want to say, I want to save as, and again, I'm just going to sort of find something here, whatever, right? And so you can save it as a Word document, or you can go down here. Now this is Windows, right? And you can also save it as a PDF. So you have that option. So once that Word document that I just sent you, when you complete your assignment, you can actually save it as a PDF document. Right? Now, Mac people, let me cancel this as well. Mac people, the default, if you're using a Mac, the default is going to say, the default saving for any document is going to be pages, but they have a file they call pages, .pages, right? So if you don't do anything, it's going to save it as a pages document. Now, Canvas is not set up to read that. It's a really sort of long thing that I prefer not to be doing every time somebody sends me a pages document, right? It can be done, but it requires a bunch of different stuff. So if you have a Mac, when you get to when you finish your document and you're gonna save it as Word. You can save it as Word or as PDF as well. So I suggest that you do not do the default, because the default is pages, and I'm gonna send you some sort of a comment back saying, I can't read this. Canvas cannot read pages. I can't read pages, right? So just save it as a Word or PDF document. Again, if you are using Google Docs, if you don't have Word, you can do the same. You can save your document. In fact, I think they also now have a PDF version in Google Docs that you can actually save it as well. And by the way, I'm going to post something later on, perhaps in one of the messages that I send you. There's some really cheap and sources available for students. The community college districts have made very cheap ways for you to get Office, Microsoft Office material. You can get the full premium suite for Office that includes Excel and everything, I think for less than 40 bucks. And I'm gonna put that link in the video. Again, I'm not saying that you should buy this thing, but it will be real helpful. All right, so I want to show you real quickly here, and again, we're running out of time. I figure this is as much as we're going to be able to complete today. I put this template already for the key concept. All right, so I basically set it up for you. So all the terms that I was showing you earlier, these are the ones for chapter 1, right? As you start reading your textbook, you're going to be going through this. You're going to be answering. You're going to be writing the definition for these. Same thing as I showed you earlier. You can download it, right? And you can just type up your answers here. You're going to save it later on, and then as a PDF or as a Word document, and you're going to then submit it. The page for the submission, I have it already, but it's not coming up due until like the 14th of September, so in about 4 weeks, right? So again, same thing before. Once you start working on this, once you have it done, and I'm gonna give you a reminder. I think it's the 5th week of the semester. You'll be you need to submit this key concept. These key concepts I usually do right also before we're gonna have an exam. And so people say, oh, it's a lot of work and a lot of, that. But think of it as a way for you to study for the exam. You're already studying for the material you're gonna see on the exam, right even before the exam happens. So, and I know it's advisable to sort of review this material, review your notes and everything right before the exam. But in this case, you're already doing it. You're already doing all that extra work. And so don't look at that extra work, simply do it as a way for you to prepare for an exam. And in addition, you're gonna get points for it. You get up to for all these assignments, you get 200 points. All right, I think we're running out of time. Again, you are going to be spending some time looking at the syllabus, which is also, again, there is a different version. You see it like that. Really quickly, this is what I want to make sure as you go through your map to your syllabus quiz to learn all this different information. This is basically the way I'm going to be grading this class. You can have map quizzes, you can have exams, only 3 of them. These news discussions, reflections, and key concepts. I think on Monday, I'll be able to learn a little more about some of the other assignments. But this is something I want to make sure you understand. I grade exclusively by points, not percentages. I don't curve anything, right? And so if you get 900 points, you have an A. Right? Now, here's the other thing that say like this syllabus quiz that is extra credit. Those extra credits go in your favor, right? They just get added to your total points. So again, the closer you are to 900, the closer you are to an A. Right? And you'll see that these points will start accumulating as they go through. And at the end of the semester, if you have 900 points, you have an A. All right? And I'll be explaining that as we go along. Okay. So one of the things I'll do, I think I can see pretty much who's here, who isn't. I think I'm only missing about 1 or 2 people. Just before I let you go, I know some of you have all the classes, correct? And so I won't hold you, I promise. All right, okay. So we will see you on Monday of next week. Any questions? Again, you can inbox me on the on Canvas. The inbox there basically said I can see those on email. Ask any questions and all of that. All right. I will see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend and look for an announcement for what's happening on Sunday. Okay. Take care. Stay safe and healthy. We will see you later. Good to meet you all.